back to Down the Forest Path, a seasonal knitting podcast. My name is Nicola and I am the host and moderator of this podcast. This episode is going to be a little bit different from what we usually do here because it's just some videos that I recorded over the past few weeks. I think in the last episode I published, I already told you that I had two bigger objects that were finished and that I couldn't really talk about because they were gifts that I was giving this winter to two very close relatives who had birthdays. And now I can talk about them because now these gifts have gone away and they're with their new owners, and the new owners are very happy with them, so I get to brag a little bit about them. I'm also going to take you along to some travels that I've done recently. One was to a monastery that is close to where I live, and I can show you around a little bit, and I also use it as a backdrop to showcase one of these objects. I would say finished objects first, and the first one I actually have with me. It's a small finished object, but it's beautiful nevertheless, so I wanted to show you. This is the Hiedra headband by Fibertails. She also has a podcast on YouTube, and the pattern is available on Ravelry. And it's this beautiful little headband that has a cable motif that looks like growing plants, and then this braid going next to it. And I think I'm not telling you too much if I'm saying that the braid works by dropping stitches and then picking them up at the end, which was a little bit scary for me because I actually have never had a pattern that intentionally dropped stitches, and I was worried when I did it because it was literally the first time I was doing this. The yarn for this is the Rerum Natura Penelope, and if I remember correctly it has 10% silk in it, which I think makes this very soft, and it's a very springy, non-scratchy wool yarn that is also quite warm, which I really appreciated because I recently took this out on a little winter walk, and this was the only thing I was using to protect my ears, which are a little bit sensitive to cold, windy weather, and it worked perfectly. I felt toasty the whole hike and it was very appreciated. Let me put it on so you can get a better idea. So there we go. I'll give you a little close-up. I think it's really cute. I'm super happy with this. It also sits perfectly. I was a little bit worried. I made it a tiny bit longer than she did, and I still felt like maybe it was a little bit on the short side. But now that I've put it on, I really appreciate that it's kind of a little bit tight and snug because it stays on like this. It doesn't slip or up or down, which is both quite annoying when I'm hiking, which is what I made this for, because I often have ponytails when I'm hiking and I felt it looked kind of stupid under a hat. I've done that for years and I always feel a little bit insecure about it because it looks kind of dumb, in my opinion, when I do it. It's just a hat that then has a kind of weird shape in the back because there's a ponytail sticking out there, but it can't go anywhere. So a headband was a much better choice for that, and I'm super happy that I chose this pattern because it was super clear. It was quite short and easy to follow, and I think I will make a few more of these, maybe with a little bit of a more fluffy yarn or mohair, because I think that would also look super great in this. And yeah, that's the first finished object. As I said, it's super small, but would recommend. The second finished object is also knit, and it is another Out of Darkness shawl by BooKnits, and this one was for my little sister for her birthday. I have taken some video footage of it because I don't have it with me anymore, but you will still be able to see, so I will put that in now. I'm really happy with how this came out. I think I chose the yarn beautifully. The colors really suit her. Seeing her wear it made me super happy. And the beads as well, I'm really happy with. I picked some that have the coating kind of finished in a little bit more of a permanent way so that it won't come off even if you wash the shawl. And I think the gold is a super nice contrast with the green, and I think it doesn't look too wintry. It can also be worn in autumn or spring. So yeah, that is the second finished object. The yarn, as you have probably guessed, is my all-time favorite. Dye for Wool Merino Silk Yak Fingering yarn. This is my favorite shawl yarn. It blocks beautifully. It's sturdy, it's robust, the colors are gorgeous, and it keeps the block. What can I say? I don't really expect that much from a wool based yarn, but it does, and that makes it even more pretty because you don't have to reblock your shawls quite as often. So yes, that was that. I think the color was called Lost in a Coniferous Forest, in case you're interested. I know that they do free shipping, I think worldwide, so yeah, check them out there on Etsy. For the last finished object of the episode, I'm going to hand over to Nicola of a few weeks ago, who recorded this before the scarf that I wove. Left my home forever. So over to you. Hi, I briefly wanted to talk about a finished object that I have with you because it's going to leave the household today, so it cannot wait until I film my next episode. So this is going to be a little bit, as we say in German, zwischen Tür und Angel, so between the door and the hinge, like a bit on the go. The light is not ideal because it's already getting dark out, but I think it's still worth showing you. So this is my mom's birthday shawl for this year. I try to make a birthday shawl each year and one for Mother's Day. And I have just finished the box for it today. So as you can see, it's a little fox sleeping in a circle of little gorse branches. And then you can have a look at the shawl, which is in it. It's woven this year. Here we go, and I'm going to unfold it so you can have a better look at it. I'm actually really proud of this one. So there you go. As you can see, it's this kind of tweed pattern, but it's not actually tweed, because as far as I understand it, but I might be wrong, and this whole segment, Scottish people in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't actually have all of the expert knowledge on this. As far as I know, tweed is when one weft thread, so the threads that go left to right go over several warp threads, so the threads that go long ways at the same time. So this is just a very simple plain weave. I hold it closer to the camera, and it has this pattern in it that I just made up on the go based on something I saw on Alice Starmore's website, Virtual Yarns, because this is Alice Starmore yarn. So you will maybe remember, if you watched my Scottish yarn haul video, which I posted a few months back, that I came back from Scotland with this massive heap of Alice Starmore yarns, because I absolutely love it. The colors are incredible, and a few of the yarns I brought back got woven up into this kind of big shawl. Let me maybe wrap it around myself for a second. Yeah, so you can see it's quite long and chunky, and I think she's going to like it, and I think it's going to look amazing on her. So I'm very excited about giving her this. I'm gonna unwrap myself from it. And I used some colors in here that I can talk a little bit about, I think. So as far as I remember, this orange color here is called sundew, and the sundew is a carnivorous plant that's native to Scotland, as far as I know. So most of Alice Starmore's yarn names and colorways are inspired by the nature around where she lives. So it has a lot of Scotland inspiration in it, which I, having been to Scotland, can really see, and also is what really attracted me to this yarn. Then we have Win here, which is a Scottish name for gorse, and you can see that it really has this color of gorse flowers. And then we have spindrift, which is the foam on top of waves, right? For this color. And the green here is either Glen or Machair, I cannot fully remember, so I'll hold it up closer to the camera. And I'm super happy with how this came out. I wove it on an Ashford rigid header loom, which got given to me by my mom and my dad and my husband. So it's only fair that she gets something woven in return. And this is the 2-ply, Alice Starmore 2-ply yarn. I wove it on a 30 × 10 handle. So each 10 centimeters has 30 ends. And then afterwards I fold it. So folding is when you kind of agitate your weave so that it shrinks a little bit and becomes a more dense fabric. And you might be able to see that it has a lot of drape. It's very soft. It's not felty, but it has this fabric texture that is normal for these woolly woven fabrics after they've been fulled or walked. So how I did it is I put it in kind of warm water and then just dug in there a lot. It was quite exhausting physically. Then cold water, then hot water again, and then I got out the ironing board that I have, put a towel on top of that, and then looked at videos from the 40s and 30s, I think, that I found on YouTube of women walking tweed in Scotland, the traditional way, which like they sang songs about and everything. So it was super interesting to watch. I kind of just worked along with them, which was also a very nice feeling. I think it might be really fun to actually do this with a group of friends, but I just did it on my own and I think it worked out perfectly well, and I am rewarded and blessed with this wonderful scarf that I am super happy with, and I hope my mom will be as well. And I will now put it back in its little box, and then I will see her in an hour or two, and I'm super excited about this. I always just love giving handmade gifts for Christmas and birthdays if I have the time to make them. So the birthday shawl especially is always a big deal for me, and she always she's one of my biggest cheerleaders, and she always loves everything I make her. She kept everything I made her when I was a child, I think. So she has like a lot of tiny beaded ornaments that I made back then. Not all of them are good, but she always kind of supported me and was touched whenever I made her anything and kept it. So I know she's going to like it no matter what, but I hope she actually really, really, really loves this shawl, and I hope she gets a lot of wear out of it because it will keep her nice and snug and protected from cold wind during the winter time. Those were the finished objects this time, but that doesn't mean we're finished with everything, because as I said, we still have the Knitting for Olive haul. So I'm going to now hand over to other Nicola, who was very happy with her parcel, so you can follow along with that. Good morning and welcome back to my podcast. So I was woken up this morning by the postman, and he had a little parcel for me, which is my order from Knitting for Olive, because I went a little bit wild in the Christmas discount. They had 15% off on Christmas Eve, and I ordered quite a few neutral yarn colors because I noticed the last few months with the gift knitting I was doing that I was missing more neutral colors in my yarn stash. I go for way more colorful yarns than my normal wardrobe is, and I'm happy with that because it makes a nice color accent. But when knitting for other people especially, I like having a few more neutral colors there as well. So I gave a little Christmas gift to myself essentially, and ordered quite a few of their soft silk mohair and their thin merino yarn qualities. So I thought we would have a nice unboxing together. I have opened the top so it doesn't rustle so much, but I haven't actually seen the yarns myself. And I am super excited about this. So if you like neutral yarn colors, then stay tuned here. I think the light is quite good today as well, so you should get a decent-ish color representation. But in any case, the website of Knitting for Olive is super good with the different yarn colors. So if you are not quite sure if a color would work or not, then have a look at their website, and that will definitely be super helpful. So I would say, let's get started. So we started off with their powder color in the soft silk mohair, and I will hold it closer to the camera so you can get a look. So it's this beautiful kind of sandy powdery, I mean it's called powder color, with the ever so slightest hint of pink in it. And as you can see, it's really shiny in the light, which I absolutely love. It's going to look gorgeous knit together with something, which is what I'm planning on doing. So that can already go in my little yarn basket here. And then here we have merino, and this is the color Sky or Cloud. So this is basically a almost pure white but softened, and it has a little bit of a yellowy undertone for me. And I'm gonna hold it up here. And in the yarn basket it goes. Then, oh, this is beautiful. So this is called Nordstrand or Nordic Beach, and it does really look like sand, but not yellowish, but actual sand on a beach of the Northern Sea. It's absolutely accurate. I'm gonna hold it close here. It reminds me of trips to the beach we did as a family when I was a child, actually. And yeah, this is their merino yarn quality. It's a little bit thinner than a normal fingering weight yarn. So this is 250 meters per 50 gram. So it would be 500 meters per 100 gram, which makes it about a fifth thinner than the absolute box standard fingering weight yarn, which is usually 400 gram per 100 meter. 400 meter per 100 gram, sorry. So I found this sometimes a little bit difficult to work with because I have quite a loose gauge anyway, and if I just substitute it for fingering weight yarn that's a little bit thicker in patterns, then I end up with a very see-through fabric, which I often don't like the look of, especially when doing color work. But holding it together with the mohair, it's what I did for the December bow, and it's what I did for the headband that I'm wearing, and that yields this wonderfully beautiful fabric. So that's what I'm planning on doing with this mostly. But yeah, here you have a look. And down it goes into the yarn basket. This is also quite accurate. So this is the soft silk mohair in the colorway Oat, and it does really look like some rolled oats that you could make porridge out of. It's definitely the right color for that. The little yarn balls are starting to poke out here, but you can't really see it because they're so neutral that they just blend in seamlessly with the background and with my wall. Oh yeah, this I was really excited about, this color. This is called Mushroom Rose, and I know why they kind of called it like that, because it does remind me a bit of a mushroom, but it's also a bit pinkish, and I thought this was a really nice color, and maybe it will not actually go with my skin tone because it's too close to it, but I know a few people where I will be able to make really beautiful small accessories like headbands or something like that out of. Yeah, I think if I do that for myself, I'll just look like I have a even bigger forehead than I have, so maybe that's not the best idea, but I think this is super cute, and it was like the one that I was most excited about when ordering. Okay, I'm not gonna see what I'm getting out here. So this is the soft silk merino, also in the colorway cloud. So I know we already had the normal merino in the cloud colors. Here it is. So I found it. So if I hold these two together, they will harmonize beautifully. They are made to match, and Knitting for Olive has a system on the website that also lets you find the matching yarn colors for any yarn that you want to match with something else. So as you can see, these go together perfectly. Ah yes, and the same here. This is the merino in powder. We already looked at the soft silk mohair for powder, and it's basically the exact same color. Oh, this is gorgeous. So this is the rose clay soft silk mohair. It does look like a rose clay face mask, actually. It looks very spa-like somehow. So there we go. And last but not least, we have the mushroom rose merino. And I think that's also super, super cute. So this is a bit of a balancing act, but here you have all of them. As you can see, it's all of these different shades of beige. And I got all of this for, I think, with shipping, in total 70 euros, which I think is a completely fair price. And I hope you stay tuned to see what I'm gonna make out of these. And if you are curious, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, because that will make sure that you stay in the loop about this. So that's it from my side today. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. If you did like this episode, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see you soon, and I'm looking forward to it. Bye bye!